best practices that I have used in class in terms of helping our students build clinical judgment are to really use, two things really. I use a lot of unfolding case stories, and then I, in the classroom, really use a lot of what I would call sort of serious games or activities that the students can engage in. So first, let me talk a little bit about some of the unfolding cases that I use. So for instance, this past summer I taught a course on communication and teamwork for our students. And this whole course was really designed to help our students learn a lot about communication skills and teamwork before they entered into the clinical site, knowing that those are important skills for them. So one of the things that we did is I shared with them, first from a didactic perspective, some of the important skills around teamwork. So we did some of the team steps information, talked to them about things like SBAR, situation, background, assessment, recommendations. Then I had them practice a little bit with each other on how one might put together an SBAR. So once they were done, then we really launched into this case-based learning experience. So we started with videos that I had prepared ahead of time that I use in a lot of my teaching. And so these videos showed them a situation, and these situations were based on real situations that occurred in clinical areas. And so the students saw the situation, the interaction that occurred. And so then they were to use this SBAR in order to take the situation that they saw on the video and create an SBAR handoff to another clinician. And so then they role played sort of the end of the video. Then I taught them something else. I call it the 3 W's. What do I see? What do I want? What am I concerned about? And so then again, using videos, we could role play. Now, we also know that students have to deal with some conflict in the situation, and they need to use some clinical judgment around that. So again, using the same kinds of things. So the whole idea behind this is to be able to give them some tools and then give them a real situation that I brought to life using video as opposed to using just a paper-based case study. The videos were easy to create in the lab. I could create a clinical scenario with a patient situation, and then they can decide using their judgment what they needed to put in that SBAR handoff report. Now, another way that I will help them think about clinical judgment will be to create some sort of a game or an activity. And again, I ask them to read information, read the chapter before they come to class, and then put that information to use in this case study. So I'm going to use a non-clinical example. This is around quality improvement. So we know the NCLEX isn't just built on clinical information, but students also have to know things like quality improvement. So one of the things that I did was have the students engage in this activity where they had to learn about quality improvement by engaging in a game that I got from the Institute of Healthcare Improvement. So they had to learn about defects in quality and how that might play out in an emergency department. So through this fun, interactive, game-like activity, they learned more than I could have done by engaging in just a lecture activity. So I think of it really all about getting them involved in the learning. So when we think about clinical judgment and critical thinking, we really need to think about that from an overall perspective of let's get our students actively involved in our classrooms, in our sim labs, putting the things that they learn into practice. So I think just looking at this short burst of theory, get them involved right away in some sort of activity where they can put that theory into action using their clinical judgment skills around some information that you've just shared with them. I think that's the best way to cement that learning and to build those skills, and we can just build them in those small ways over time.